Very good morning, friends. I am Dr. S.K. Rajesh Khanna, Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology. Now I am going to handle the subject Supply Chain Management for you. Okay, this subject is an open elective subject in Anna University curriculum and you all opted for this subject. It is a right decision. First, I will give the brief introduction about the subject. It is purely a theoretical subject. There is no problem, no programming, no codings. Okay, and moreover, don't think that the subject is belongs to mechanical and how it is related to computer science and all. This subject is a common engineering subject in which all the departments can read or study the subject. Okay, best example means if you want even the TCS, they are doing the supply chain, CTS, they are doing the supply chain, Amazon, Flipkart, everybody having their own supply chain, and we are going to discuss on those supply chain. Okay, suppose if you take exam point of view, it is pure theory paper. Here you should not write only the stories or explanations. Here you have to include the real time examples for each and every question. Then only in Anna University you will get the good marks. Okay. So this is the theoretical subject with the example writing. Okay, next few classes, that is for next 9 periods, I am going to discuss on this objectives only. The first thing is the introduction topic. In the introduction, I am going to discuss about what is supply chain management, and this introduction topic I am going to handle at very slower learning rate. Okay, because you have to understand what is supply chain clearly. Okay, because somebody think that something is supply chain. It is not like that. Supply chain is not only supplying the product, the things involved around it. That is why I am going to handle it in the slower phase. And next topic is the scope and importance. Here it is very few scopes are there, and only the what is the main scope? To earn the profit and to satisfy the customer. So these are the only two main scopes that we are going to discuss. And what is the importance? If you are following the supply chain properly, you will get the maximum profit. And if you are not following the supply chain, or if you have a failed supply chain or improper supply chain, or the wrong decisions are taken, then the company will fail in its competition. Okay, that we are going to discuss what are the importance of supply chain. Next, we are going with the evolution of supply chain. Evolution in sense where it starts. It already starts in 1950s itself. Okay, now it comes to a stage, and in future it will go to a next higher level also. That evolution we are going to see how it is evolved from the basic till date. Okay, that we are going to discuss on this thing. Next is the decision phases. How to take the decision, what are the decisions can be taken, when the decision has to be taken. Is the decision is a long term decision or medium term decision or a short term decision? Because each and every decision taken by the supply chain stakeholder is an important to the supply chain. Okay, this decision only decides the profit. For example, if you take Saravana stores in Chennai T Nagar, they are giving the product at lesser cost. How it is possible for them? Means they are reducing their profit margin. Okay, because of reducing the profit margin, what happened? The sales will be very high. So at the end of the sales or end of the month, if you take the profit which is very higher, but if you take the some of the stores near to our house, they are having the higher profit limit, higher profit margin, so the sales is very less. At the end of the month, if you take the profit of both the stores, it is very good with Sarana stores. Okay, so these are the decision phases. For example, next is the competitive and strategies adopted by the supply chain. Okay, if you take what is the strategy means, if you take the Amazon, they are having Amazon Prime. If you are a member of your Amazon Prime, you will get the product at free of cost. Delivery charges will not be there. But if you take the Flipkart, they are having some concept called as coins, and we have more number of coins, they will give some cashback like that, but they will charge some delivery things. Okay, so these are the called as strategies. What are the companies, what are the strategies they are going to follow? So that we are going to discuss. And next thing is the drivers and obstacles. Whatever the process it may be, there will be some obstacles and there will be some factor influencing the thing. Okay, here we are going to discuss what are the driving factors of the supply chain. Okay, driving factors is mainly based on the customer certification, so that we are going to discuss on this topic. Next, final thing, review on the outcome. So we are final in the last class. I am going to review all these chapters and we will get some outcome out of this thing. Okay. In this thing, I am going to explain everything with some examples only. Okay. Now coming back to the subject. I am Dr. SK Rajesh Khanna. I am going to handle the subject supply chain management for final year CSE A section students. Okay, and hope you all, some of you may remember me. I am the club coordinator of RIT. You may see me there. Okay, and I am the campus monitoring in charge. Okay, and next is Mr. N. Sivasanmugam. He is the associate professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He is going to handle the section final year CSE B. He is a very experienced professor, and he is having lot of knowledge on this industrial engineering and the supply chain management TQM like that. Okay, he is if you can utilize him very much. He is vast knowledge on the quality control process and this type of subjects. Okay, that is this type of subjects we are calling it as an industrial engineering subject. He is very vast experience in that thing. And next thing is for final year CSE C section, Mr. A.K. Saravanan is going to handle this subject. He is dynamic professor and he is having very good knowledge in this supply chain, and moreover he is expert in this supply chain, so that only he is allotted the subject. Voluntarily he is, took this subject, and he is very good, nice professor. So you all have a very good professors in your for this subject. Okay, and next thing we are going to see about the course objective and outcomes. Why we have to study this means our college is NBA accredited institution. CSE is NBA accredited. For NBA accreditation, if you want to study a subject, you should know by studying this subject what is the outcome from that subject, that you should know. For that only we are going to discuss this thing. In the course objective, we are used to call it as COs. Okay, that is course outcome is called as COs. And in the COs in our college, we are having 6 COs for a subject. Okay, the first 5 CO is for the first 5 units, and the last 6th CO is for the part C questions. In Anna University curriculum, Anna University regulations, you are having part C question. That part C question is a application oriented question from any of the 5 units. So that only we are having 6 COs. And there is one thing called as BT level. BT level is called as the Bloom's taxonomy level. This Bloom's taxonomy level increases from 1 to 6. Okay, so first CO is the after studying this subject, after studying this course, the student will be able to understand the basics of supply chain, its importance and the strategies. Okay, by completing of the first unit, you will know what is supply chain. You can tell the importance of supply chain. You can tell the strategies followed by the supply chain of each and every company. So that is what with the first course objective. So this categorized under the Bloom's taxonomy level 2. Okay, next course objective is the student will be able to formulate the network design by considering the influencing factors. This comes under the Bloom's taxonomy level 3. The network design in sense, don't think that the computer networks LAN, WAN like that Wi-Fi. It is not that network. The network is, if your Amazon is delivering a product, who are all involved in that thing. Suppose, for example, the supplier, the producer, the courier person, or the transport lorry owners, so logistic industries, these are called as the network. Okay, in the mobile you are getting the update, the product is delivered from here, the product is delivered from to Bangalore, from Bangalore it is reached Chennai, from Chennai it reached your transit, like that. This is what we call as the network. Okay, next, the third outcome is, after studying the unit 3, the student will be able to identify the optimal transportation and routing system for the supply chain. So this is categorized under Bloom's taxonomy level 4. Okay, here what we are going to discuss means transportation. I want to add one more point here, and my PhD, my doctorate research is on that transportation. Okay, you will not believe, if you go to the Chennai harbor, per day crores and crores of products are transported from the Chennai harbor. Okay, why means of the ship cargo. In the ship they are having the containers. That container you can see in the roadsides, big lorries are carrying some containers. Okay, that the specialty of that container is the owner of the container is different, the ship owner is different, the person who is going to transport the product in that container is different. Okay, the person going to transport the product in the container means the person has to pay the freight rate or rent to the container owner. Okay, the container owner will calculate the rent based on the volume of the product and weight of that product. Okay, and the container owner has to pay the rent to the ship owner to transport that container. Okay, now if you want to earn the profit means we have to pack the boxes inside the container without empty spaces. If there is empty spaces inside the container, it is loss for the container owner. Okay, so the packing, that is what my PhD work. In my PhD work, I am developed a algorithm that is based on the genetic algorithm. I developed a heuristic module. That module will tell which box has to be placed where and in which orientation, so that the container doesn't have any empty space inside it. That is compactly packed everything inside the container. So it is a very good topic, and now the supply chain management, especially the transport experts are required for the Chennai harbor. Even if you pack a small box or even a cell phone box extra into the container, okay, it is a great profit. Okay, because of my project, they are earning more than 6 to 7 lakhs per day. Previously and after my research work, now my thing is running on this harbor, and the same thing I did it for Lakshmi Machine Works also. They are earning the profit, that we will discuss while coming to the unit 3. Next thing, if you complete the unit 4, the student will be able to explain this sourcing and the coordination required in the supply chain. What is meant by sourcing? That is, what are the available sources. Suppose if the Flipkart is delivering a product, means the Flipkart will think that what are the available source to deliver. Shall we go to the courier persons, or shall we go to the product delivery persons, or shall we deliver by ourselves, or shall we recruit some persons, or shall we rent some persons, hire some persons. So this is what we call as the sourcing. What are the available source? And as an engineer, we should very keen in this thing, the utilizing the available source maximum. That is an purpose role of the engineer. So that is what we are going to discuss in the unit 4. And the coordination of various supply chain. If you take a supply chain, there are n number of owners will be there. Okay, and we have to coordinate with each and every owner, and every owner is trying to increase their profit only. They will not bother about the others. So we have to coordinate them, and we have to increase the profit of the entire supply chain. That is the objective of a supply chain engineer. Okay, and the 5th unit, if you complete the 5th unit, you can able to develop a supply chain surplus in the IT industries. Here the role of the computer science students came into. Okay, the surplus means it is the other term of profit. Okay, so whatever the supply chain, whatever the business, whatever the service it may be, we have to increase the profit. So that is the main objective. that is increasing the profit through IT sector, IT industries. Okay, here comes how the IT in the supply chain in the IT industries, or how the IT technologies, information technologies used to enhance the profit. Okay, that is what here, that is reducing the paperwork, maintaining all the data in the server. So that is one of the thing we are enhancing the profit by reducing the cost of the stationaries or the papers. And finally, the sixth thing, which is the application oriented, you can understand and enhance the profit in any supply chain network, not only in the IT industries, not only in mechanical, not only in easy, whatever the task given to you, you are able to enhance your supply chain. So that is this objective, or that is the sixth course outcome. So we discussed the 6 course outcomes, and I explained the 6 course outcomes. After completing this subject, you can able to do all those things. Okay. Okay, next thing is the textbooks. What are the textbooks to be followed? Okay, as per Anna University, Sunil Chopra, Supply Chain Management, Strategy, Planning and Operation. The publisher is Pearson. The edition is 2010 edition. Okay, this textbook covers the entire syllabus from the Unit 1 till the Unit 5. Okay, apart from that, there is some reference books given in the Anna University. This reference book is only for the particular unit. For example, if you take the Jeremy book, it is modeling of the supply chain. It comes for unit 1 and 2, and it may not, it will not cover the remaining units. Okay, it will cover the here and there, but not the entire things. Next, if you take the Srinivasan book, it is the local author book. It is very simple to read. Okay, but this book is only for the unit 4, like that. Okay, it is not cover, it will not cover the entire all 5 units. And next is the David Bloomberg. This book, it is especially on the logistic. It covers the entire topics on the unit 3, and it will give the complete air cargo, ship cargo, land cargo, everything. Okay, if you want to know more about this thing, you can go with this book. And next is the James, it is the handbook. This cannot be used for you. It is used by the supply chain engineers, not by you. So instead of buying this textbook, you can go with the actual actual textbook. Okay, and here I want to add one more point. No need to buy the textbook. After the college reopens, we will give you the materials. Okay, or I will refer some other book for you. Okay, but something we are preparing, and once we completed our preparation, we will give that as your textbook, that material as the textbook. Okay, you read that thing, it is more than sufficient. No need to buy these textbooks. And more on another point, I will send the PDF copy of this Sunil Chopra textbook to you all. Okay, okay, you can share with your in the WhatsApp group. Okay, next thing, lesson plan. As you know, our college is ISO and accredited, so we have to go with the lesson plan. This is the procedure we are going to follow in this thing. In the first class, the introduction to SCM, that is what I am going to discuss in the next 15 minutes. Next, PEO. PEO means Program Educational Objective. PSO means Program Specific Outcome. PO means program outcome, CO means course outcome. The course outcome we discussed, and PO, PSO, PEO we already discussed by your faculty in your department. Okay, that is the department specific. Next is the role of logistic and supply chain management. If possible, I will discuss in this period itself, or I will go in a few periods. Next, scope and importance of supply chain, evolution of supply chain, decision phases in supply chain, competitive and supply chain strategies, drivers of the supply chain, revision, and we will have one online quiz at each and the end of the every unit, because we want to assess what you learned so far. Okay, so that we are having some assessments at the end of this thing. Okay, next thing, the lesson plan unit 2, that we will discuss later. Unit 3 discuss later. Unit 4 we will discuss later. Unit 5 we will discuss at the time of this thing. So now we are going to discuss what is meant by a supply chain. Okay, the process carried out by these companies, whatever you are seeing in the screen, by these companies is called a supply chain. Best example, let us take Amazon.com. If you are ordering a product, and if the product is reached your doorstep, the process behind all this thing is called as a supply chain. Supply chain is a process of delivering product to the customer. Okay, Flipkart, the same thing. Walmart, it is the largest sector in the world. Okay, the Walmart, if you take, it is a huge supply chain in the product delivery to the customer. Alibaba.com, they are the major wholesale product delivery to the customers. Okay, so these are the companies where delivering product. Okay, they are providing service to you also. So this is what we call the supply chain. Anything, if a company or anybody supply the required product to the customer is called the supply chain. Okay, now let us take an example of Amazon. In Amazon, you can see the agricultural product, you can see the household product, fashion designs, dresses, or you can see the textbooks, even the film, Amazon Prime, or even the musics, or even whatever the customer required, they try to produce the maximum. Suppose you are searching some product in the Amazon, and if the Amazon says that the product is not available in their database, within a week or within 10 days, the Amazon bring that product into their database. You can see this thing. This is what we call the supply chain. The Amazon is delivering the product through air cargo, through ship cargo, through land cargo, and through warehousing. The Amazon shops are there. Okay, you can collect it from their warehouse also. So these are they are having enormous number of employees. Some of them are working on the database, some of them working on the customer feedback, some of them working on the call center, some of them are delivering the product, some of them are the suppliers, some of them are the store owners, some of them are the Amazon itself, they are having some products. Okay. Some of them have the customer working on the customer feedback, some of them are working on the data mining. Okay, some of them working on the product forecasting, which product will be what is the sales, so how much it will be sell in this month, like that. So the Amazon is having the enormous things. Okay, enormous employees, enormous workforces, enormous sections, enormous departments. So everything comes under a single supply chain. Okay, if you want to, for example, let us go with a small example. It is a little bit longer example also. Okay, with this example we will complete this session. If you want to buy a supply chain management textbook in Amazon, okay, for the subject, if you want to buy the textbook, what you will do, just if you open your Amazon app in your mobile, just you will type supply chain management textbook. Okay, and if you give the search, it will show n number of textbooks. Not only the Sunil Chopra textbook, it will show n number of textbook in it. Okay, and if you select, if you see where is the Sunil Chopra textbook, the which is prescribed by Anna University, and if you select the textbook, automatically it will give the details and it asks you to add to the cart, or if you want to buy the book. If you buy the book, it will ask for the payment details. Once if you paid, it will take the address from your already signed in data, and it will finish the process over. Okay, once the payment is made, the process is over. After that, what will happen? The book will be delivered to the customer. That is, the book will be delivered to you at your doorstep. This is what the process of ordering a product or a book in Amazon. Okay. Okay. Then, what is the next thing? Did I left any process in this category? Is there any other process I left out in ordering the book? Just you are taking the Amazon, typing the thing, selecting the required book, pay the amount of that book, the book will be delivered. Okay, that's all. I think so. Is it correct? So this is what we call as a supply chain. Okay, now what is supply chain? In simple words, anything supplied to you or to the customer is called a supply chain. Who is the customer? The person who needs the product is called as the customer. If the product is delivered to him, it is called as the supply chain. Very simple. Okay, anything supplied to you or to the customer is called a supply chain. Okay, next thing. If I am ordering a pizza, the pizza is delivered. Is it a supply chain? Yes, that is a supply chain for pizza delivery, because the pizza is a product. Even though it is a food product or not, it is different. It is a product. It is required by a customer. So the pizza is delivered to the customer. So it comes under the supply chain. Okay, next thing. Withdrawing a money from the ATM, can we call it as a supply chain? Yes, it is a supply chain, because even though money belongs to us, but the service is provided by somebody else. Okay, the money is the product, it is delivered to the customer on the need. So that is called as the supply chain management. is the college and schools can called as supply chain. Yes, the college and schools also comes under the supply chain management, because in the college and schools they are not delivering any product. Instead, they are delivering the service. They are providing the education. They are developing your knowledge. So the service is also comes under supply chain. That is the importance here. The providing the product is not only the supply chain. Providing the service, providing the knowledge to the customer is also a supply chain. Or if the customer needs the knowledge and if it is satisfied, then it is called as a supply chain. Okay. Next thing is the Indian Railway can call that as a supply chain. Yes, because the Indian Railway transporting the people one part to the other part, it is called as a supply chain, and it is the biggest supply chain in India. The largest supply chain company in India is our Indian Railway. It is having the huge supply chain, huge number of trains, huge number of railway stations, huge number of workers, huge number of infrastructures, everything is there. It is also called as a supply chain. The transportation is also called as a supply chain. Is the metro water, can we call it as a supply chain? Yes, supplying the metro water to our houses is called as a supply chain. Here the product is the water, the service is provided by the Metro Water Corporation. Okay, it is also called as a supply chain. Here also a lot of pipelines, infrastructures, everything is there. Okay, next thing. So now what is supply chain? Yes, supply chain is the process involving more than a activity. That is any process that is having more than one activity, and that process is intended to supply a product or maybe a service to the customer is called as a supply chain. Okay, if you take this definition, at most all the activity, whatever we are seeing or whatever we are practicing in our real life is called as a supply chain. Okay, getting the vegetables from the market is a supply chain, milk delivery is a supply chain, newspaper delivery is a supply chain, getting a cloth is a supply chain, stitching the cloth is a supply chain. Okay, having the food is a supply chain, washing the cloth having a separate supply chain, and coming to the college by the bus is a supply chain, learning in the college is a supply chain, even the online learning what you are sitting here is a supply chain, the mobile phone what you are having, it is having separate supply chain. So whatever the things in your life you are seeing, that is comes under the supply chain. Okay, next thing, then what is supply chain management? Now you know what is supply chain. Anything is supplied or anything is transported or anything is service provided, it is called as supply chain. What is supply chain management? The management techniques used to manage these activities is called as supply chain management. What is the necessity of the management techniques? Okay, if you have a good management technique, you will have a good profit and you can survive in this global market. If you are not having a good management techniques, definitely you will be failed. Let us take the ambassador course. And in 20 years back or 15 years back, if you take the entire country is having only ambassador, the ministers, the prime minister, chief minister, everything is moved from one place to through ambassador, because at the time ambassador is a monopoly. It is having its own market. If you want to buy a car, you have to go only with the ambassador. Okay, that much big company, that much profit, that much sales, everything. Now you see, there is no ambassador company, there is no production at all. Why? Because they are not having good management technique, so they failed. Let us take a Binny Mills. Once upon a time, Binny Mills, Binny cloth means it is a very credit to us. It is a great honor. If I have a Binny shirt, then they will say that you are a rich person. Now where is the Binny? The Binny Mill is not there. Okay, so this is because they are not having good management techniques. Now let us take a Dell computer. What they are doing, how they are differ from others? Because they are having customizable computer. The user can customize what should be inside the computer in the internet itself, in the web portal itself. The same product is delivered to them. So that is what we called as the management techniques. Okay, so why we have to supply chain management? What is the need? Means only the two things, whatever the process, whatever the business it may be, the only the two things what they are concentrating is, one is to enhance the profit. They have to earn the high profit because of that process. Second thing, they have to satisfy the customer. Satisfying the customer is the indirect target, because once if you satisfy the customer, then only it is possible to earn the profit. Okay, without the customer we cannot earn the profits. If you take all the advertisements in the TVs, they try to satisfy their customer, they try to canvas their customer by satisfying what their needs, and they are earning the profit. Okay, if you take the TV ad, some of them let us take a shampoo ad. Okay, every girls wants to have a long hair and a bunch good strength. Suppose if they are saying that the Sunsilk or some other shampoo that is giving the very hard strength to the hair on the long hair like that, but the customer will be satisfied and they bought that product, thereby they are earning the profit. Okay, whether it is true or not, it is not a problem. If you satisfy the customer, it is okay. Okay, that is what the supply chain management. Whether because of that shampoo, if you check will the hair growth or not, it is not the problem. They have to satisfy, yes, the product is good. If you put it on the hair, it will give large amount of bubbles, and if you make your hair soft, yes, you are satisfied. Okay, that's all. Okay, whether it is achieving the target is different, satisfying the customer is different. Here you have to understand this thing, and they have to earn the profit. What is supply chain management? A supply chain is the process involving all the activities from scratch till the supply of the requirement to the customer. Okay, can we remember this definition, because it is a 2-mark question on Wednesday? Please remember this thing. A supply chain is the process involving all the activities from the scratch till the supply of that product. Okay, wow. For example, if you take Amazon and if you are ordering a mobile phone, okay, the process starts there. When you start searching that mobile phone, there itself the supply chain starts. Searching, the search engine, the displays based on that ranking or based on that user rating, based on that price, everything. There is a big team is working behind that database. Okay, and you are ordering the mobile money transaction from the bank to bank to the Amazon to the supplier to the manufacturer, the supply phone, the phone delivery, the process of logistics, the process of cargo, the process of reaching you, the message service, everything comes under the supply chain. Okay, for what the supply chain management? For it can be for a product, if for example it is a mobile phone or textbook. It can be for a service like our college or education providers, something like that, or Airtel, Jio, they are providing the service. It can be that also, and it can be a new design also. Okay, design means any new product comes, it comes under a design, or any drawings, pictures, paintings, everything comes under design. Next is the transportation or logistic. It may be ship, air or land, whatever it may be. Next is the storage, warehousings, or some stockyards or suppliers, or if you go to some nearby stores or Walmart or Big Bazaar, they are storing large amount of product. That is also called as a supply chain. So yeah, these are the things which comes under the supply chain. Who are all in the supply chain? Okay, now we see what is supply chain, what are the products to be considered in the supply chain. Now we are going to see who are all in the supply chain. Okay, the supply chain include the designer, manufacturer, suppliers, logistic industries, warehouses, sellers, marketing person, distributor, finance management, service and customers. Okay, how to increase the profit? Okay, now we see, now I hope you understand what is supply chain, who are all in the supply chain, or what are the processes to be carried out in the supply chain. Okay, in this thing, how to increase the profit. Suppose you are ordering a textbook in Amazon. Okay, okay, the book is reached you. How to earn the profit from that book? The book cost is 300 rupees. Okay, so 300 rupees you are paying that thing, the book reached you. Even the Amazon is giving some discount which is not even available in the nearby stores. Okay, even giving the discount, the book reached you, the supplier will get the profit, or the book, the printing or the publisher will get the profit. Okay, how the Amazon get the profit, how the database maintenance person get the profit, or the Amazon has to give salary for their employees. The database maintenance, they have to spend the infrastructure. For data mining, they have to spend something. For customer care, they have to spend something. If you return something, they have to get it. They are making delivery at free of cost. So Amazon is doing this many process, but they are not charging anything. For few products only they are charging some delivery cost, but most of the product they are not charging anything. Then how the Amazon is getting the profit, or how to increase the profit of Amazon? Even if you order a product or if a mobile phone, how the Amazon is going to get the profit? So this is what the engineering. Yeah, up to this it is not a problem, anybody can understand, but in this case it is a very critical thing. We have to increase the profit of the entire supply chain of the textbook. How to increase the supply chain? That is what the engineers view. Okay, in the view of engineers, we have to see it and we have to enhance it. Okay, so the scope, how to enhance the profit, what is the scope, what is the importance, that we will discuss in the next class. Now if you are having any doubt up to this supply chain, you have open discussion forum, please